We are discussing the aftermath, or afterbirth, if you will, of the night the line was crossed. We are discussing the episode of ECW from February the 8th, 1994. Nate Maxon here with you, along with ECW's own Chad Austin.
Well, why'd you go to me second? You always go to Aaron first.
Just trying to shake things up, shake things up.
Oh yeah,
That's the ticket. I'll do the John Lovitz thing. Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going now.
And of course, my brother Aaron is here with us as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Sat in water.
You sat in water.
Rain. Yeah, I forgot it rained and I sat in the chair. It doesn't have fucking slats on it. Anyway.
It made your internet.
We were just talking about Punk and Bryan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the possibility that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk may be joining the AEW roster.
I was telling the lovely Miss Jess, like, how about this? Because you know how AEW, I don't know how they do this, how they keep everything a secret. Like, everybody they sign, like, I mean, Chavo Guerrero, they could have told the whole entire world, and nobody would have leaked it, Like, Chavo Guerrero, who the fuck gave a shit? And but how they can keep like some shit secret, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for them to I just lost my train of thought because good God, all of a sudden already. To what were we talking about?
Bryan and Punk, but them keeping things secret as far as keeping the lid on shit when people are signed.
No. Yeah, you're right. It's what I was trying to tell Miss Jess. It was that you advertise that you signed Bryan. You make that a big deal. And then fucking what, in August at the big show, whatever it is, August at Arthur Ashe Stadium, you bring him out. And then, he gets the fucking huge pop. And then right behind it, the lights go out. The lights come on. There's nobody there. And then you hit fucking call to personality.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, then that's the fucking, oh my fucking God moment.
Right.
Oh my God. We got Bryan Danielson and CM Punk in the same ring at the same time, but you didn't get it when you thought you were going to get it.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that it is, from a guy that's been in the business, do you think it is more advantageous to do it the way they seem to do it, where they advertise that the guy's coming in, or do you think it's more advantageous to have the surprise?
It depends on who the guy is.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's a guy too big to not advertise,
right?
I mean, if you're gonna have Brock Lesnar, you don't want him showing up at fucking NWA on YouTube. you know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to put that. You want to put the name out there, maybe, just maybe.
Yeah. But if it's somebody like Ethan Page, fuck, who gives a shit? I still don't know who the guy is, and the guy's been working there for like 3 weeks. Who the fuck is he?
I don't have no idea.
He's that guy. He's the guy that had the impact.
Aaron, you're freezing up.
He did what?
He says, "Hey, Aaron,
am I still froze?
You're good now.
I'm not gonna hold the fucking thing the whole time. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
come on, Aaron, get it together.
He's the guy. I feel like Chad over here. I can't figure out how to make this work. But he's the guy that had that green screen match with himself on Impact.
I never saw it.
It was terrible.
I don't know. I did see Kenny Olivier wrestle the girl and the doll and shit. So
We've all done things, right? All done things. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. If those two guys are coming in, this is I guess you'd call it the closest thing to a Monday Night War moment that AEW's had. I mean, they've got some, big talent in, but these guys are on that next level. Yeah, these guys are on that next level,
They are closing in, dude. They are really closing in at a rapid level. My only problem is I would love to see like the expense report.
Yeah.
You just can't keep. Where are you putting the other people? You know what I mean? When that work there, what hours are they working?
And I don't know
they're sweeping the floors at 3:00 in the morning in the warehouse. You just can't keep bringing in people like that.
Yeah, they're gonna get that WCW like 1998 size roster where there's Lanny Poffo's collecting a check. Lanny Poffo's collecting a check for 2 years and never has to work a match.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing what WCW did in 97 and 98. And but it doesn't matter because Tony Khan, I think he has enough money that he could sustain it for a longer amount of time than Ted could because Ted had restraints, right?
Right.
Because of the deal that he had, whatever. But yeah, Tony can just keep. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. Fuck yeah, I'll get Chavo Guerrero the fifth out here. Get him out of here.
I think the only people that got a bigger roster in wrestling than them are the Legends of Hambone.
Well, it's still going on. I drove by it on Tuesday, and there were still like 12 cars in the parking lot. I didn't even stop by to see like who was in it, but I figured Tommy was probably still sitting there.
Mike Knox is probably still there. Oh God! All right, everybody,
we can't go down this road again.
It's a show in and of itself. If only the people could see the chat, the reliving the extreme chat.
Yeah, they got to figure out. We got to figure out some way they can pay $19.95 for the for the simulcast of this shit.
Well, we have surpassed or gone past the night the line was crossed in ECW as we're digging into this show from February the 8th, 1994. Was the night the line was crossed? Would you say that's the watershed moment where people really, really started noticing ECW, Chad?
That's a good question because I don't know. What do you mean, like publications? Internet people,
them taking more notice. Yeah, taking more notice of it than it just being just another independent, I guess, is the best way to put it.
I would say it probably enlightened a lot of more eyes than already was following it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Because Meltzer was following it, and Keller was following it, but at that point, once it started, getting to that point, there was, I don't know anything about the internet, so I don't know how that works. But people, I started talking to people about it and started trading tapes about it and that kind of stuff from the Sunshine Network.
Yeah. All right, so the night the line was crossed was on February 5th. This show is February 8th. Joey Styles gives us an intro here after we see the end of the three-way match, which of course went to a 1-hour draw. Joey Styles talking about the match and the show on February the 5th, essentially hyping up that, if you missed it, you missed something special.
He says that this is the night that pro wrestling has returned to America. That's what he says.
A profound statement from Mr. Styles.
And what was on Monday night? That night,
Let's see. 2894. Good God. It was probably Razor Ramon versus IRS for the 15th time.
Fucking Reno Riggins. Reno Riggins against Doink.
And Vince McMahon trying to talk about the Fat Boys to seem relevant. Yeah.
It's probably not an unfair statement to make. The day that pro wrestling came back to the United States.
And ladies and gentlemen, here's Doink. All right. So we open the show with not really a match. It's 911 and Mikey Whipwreck. 911 hits a choke slam on Mikey, obviously for the pin. 2 more choke slams after that. And it's just a segment to get 911 over, really, you know?
Oh, he's trying to to outdo me. I mean, you can clearly see that. He's trying to take more choke slams than me, because everybody knows that I am the choke slam master. You'll see me taking it more times than anybody else. And then Mikey what's he yelling? Is he whispering to Al? One more. One more.
And Joey Styles asks a question that has the obvious answer. He says, once we get to see 911 more, are we going to find out if he has any actual wrestling ability or if he's just a chokeslam artist? It's like, we figured that out pretty quick.
Well, that's an
that's
an inside joke right there, because it's not that is he a choke slam artist, is he a choke artist?
Choke artist.
Because we all saw what happened when he tried to call out Taz. Was that on TV? Was any of that on TV?
I don't know. Because I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Where he tried to call out Taz, and Taz was telling him, "I will fuck you up, brother." And 911 was like, he wanted to work, and Paul was trying to tell him, no, that's the last thing you want to do is work. This is why we're doing what we're doing. But he really wanted to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, and then he called out Taz. Taz was like, "I will fuck you up, brother." And I think they let him. I think they let him do it. And I think Taz fucked him up, brother. Because I do remember 911 getting tapped out.
Well, because the only match I ever remember 911 in myself, and I may be proven wrong as we go through these shows and I'm rewatching them, but I don't know if I ever saw him in an actual worked match other than a chokeslam deal in ECW. I remember watching him work a Luger on Nitro, and it was terrible. But other than that, I don't remember seeing him wrestle in ECW. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I found some squashes too when I was going through tapes of him on there, and oh boy, it was so bad. I'm not even gonna fucking throw out the word doozy.
We got a new one. This is oh boy.
Yeah. It was beyond doozy, right? And I was like, oh, that's 911. And
it's a badoozy.
Well, I mean, because I was a part of 911. Mm-hmm. I was there, the first one to do it, so I understood what the gimmick was. You know, you do your deal. I say my whatever shit that I gotta say, and then you slam me, pick me up, slam me again, do it 3 other times, but eventually you're gonna fucking break my vertebrae. Fuck. Because he blows himself up when he choke slams you. So after the second one, you're fucked. Like, you're literally fucked. It doesn't matter how he picks you up, it's how he puts you down.
Right.
You know, he don't just like put you down on your back, he just tosses you.
I'm sure it's wonderful as a wrestler to be lifted up by some guy, and as he's lifting you up, you hear him heaving.
Yeah, he's all blown up. He had his while he was holding me up in midair choke slam, he grabbed his asthma inhaler and he took a puff before he drove me like 10 feet through the fucking mat.
Plus, he's wearing like 8 layers of clothes. No wonder he's tired.
In the summertime. Yeah. Dude, I mean, what was Paul trying to do? Make him look like he was 700 pounds? Dude, why didn't he just have him just carrying in a cattle, like around his neck? Because he like you said, he's wearing so much leather. It's just like Jesus Christ.
Then we see some footage after this segment of the Bruise Brothers versus the Public Enemy from the show, from the night the line was crossed. And then footage of Paulie cracking Sherry with the phone is shown. And anything on these little clips, guys? I mean, nothing really to discuss, but
I don't know. I mean, I was always a big fan of the Bruise Brothers and ECW.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why they didn't work, but when they were there, I was like, dude, this is exactly what ECW needs right here.
Some big burly,
these big motherfuckers, dude.
They definitely fit the mold.
Well, they didn't really fit the. I don't even know how to approach this.
The locker room that was it was locker room heat, that kind of a deal.
No, it was maybe religical, sociological.
There you okay.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different views. They had a bunch of different views on a set of people.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Oh, I knew where he was going. I knew where he was going.
I did too. That was
well. They had 2 SS tattoos on their arms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look on the tapes when they come out, I don't think that they were either finished or done by like the second tapings. But when they came out, when Paul saw it, he goes, "Oh, there's fucking no way I can have this like on my TV." So he made them put tape around their arms. So if we, I mean, maybe you saw it on the tape, and but Paul made him tape it up.
Not surprising, yeah. Hey guys, that might go over in Knoxville, but probably not in Philadelphia.
It might go over in Knoxville.
All right. Yeah.
Makes me wonder how I got past Vince. Like Vince micromanages everything. You know what I mean? Like, so why did I don't know?
Well, that was ECW.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that with like if Paul noticed it and said, "Nah, we're not going to have that on my show." Like, I don't remember them ever having the tape and covering it when they were working for Vince. It's just weird.
Oh, because they made them get new tattoos. I mean, they tattooed over it. Because I think they thought it was socially unacceptable to have it, so they just got new tattoos. And we're like, you know what?
We're not going to be.
We're 2 6'9" guys walking around here, and we got SS tattoos. I don't think that's.
It might not be advantageous for our careers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a plane ride to Connecticut in the future.
Well, up next we get Joey Styles introducing us to a match involving, as he says, his favorite underdog, Chad Austin.
Everyone's favorite underdog.
Everyone's favorite underdog.
Everyone's favorite underdog. Chad Austin in his big grudge rematch with Johnny Hotbody.
I guess I was getting pushed. And I had no idea.
I'm telling you.
Nobody brought it to my attention.
Putting you over on commentary every week. Every week.
I mean, Joey Styles loves me.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because it's not a... He's never talking about your persona like you're a loser. He's talking about your persona like you're a fighter, an underdog.
But I wasn't.
scrappy, if you will.
I wasn't even scrappy. I don't know what I was. I wasn't any of that.
Well, as Aaron said, we have Chad Austin versus Johnny Hotbody in their rematch, and Tony Stetson is at ringside for this one.
Does Tony Stetson get involved?
No.
Oh, good.
Aaron, you want to run this one through for us real quick?
Well, I mean, it's a match. There was a hip toss spot that was pretty rough. I think it was more on Hotbody. Stetson's yelling at Hotbody because he can't beat Chad, and he lost to Chad last week. And he's like, "Come on, he's just a little kid. You should be able to beat him up." That's what he says.
He's just a little kid.
He's just a little kid. And then Stetson distracts Hotbody for a second, and then Chad gets a roll up and the 1, 2, 3.
You know, I'd only been in the business 2 years at that point.
So calling you kid wasn't a understatement then?
No, it was totally
an overstatement, fine. I guess. Yeah.
But I mean, I had nothing, no experience, nothing to go by, like no coach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody to tell me like what was good, bad, indifferent, like what to do, how to do anything. I just went with, this is what they told me to do. And then it involved Tony Stetson and Johnny Hotbody, and so be it. Collateral damage.
I do have on my notes here that there's a one point Chad hits a spinning kick on Hotbody, and then out of that, once Hotbody rebounds, he hits a clothesline, like a pretty stiff clothesline on you. I don't know if it was stiff or you just sold it well, but
that's probably stiff.
that definitely took place. And after the match, Tony Stetson, they do the whole deal with Tony Stetson laughing at Johnny.
They're teasing the breakup of the Do-Rags of Doom. And this was, like all the other matches Chad's had, still a better match than the Jimmy Snuka match.
Well, fuck, dude. Frankie Williams against Jimmy Snuka was just as good as my match with Jimmy Snuka. Come on, Jeff Craney. Christ's sake. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you have any memories of these two guys, like as guys in the back or whatever, Hotbody and Stetson? Like
it goes back to the Tommy Cairo. I'm glad you said that, Nate, because it goes back to the conversation that we have with Cairo about how the backlash,
mm-hmm.
you know, that I would get because Paulie wanted me to go over on said, you know, guys that were already established in ECW, you know,
mm-hmm.
like the Philadelphia guys. And I'm thinking like, look, how many of these guys are you going to have run through me? But then I realized he's having me beat them.
Right.
And I'm thinking like,
was there point of contention with heat? Did it get directed at you or did it get directed at Paul? As far as the bitching and complaining and, you know.
Well, what was in the ring was directed at me. What was directed in the back was directed at Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And that I have no idea. I couldn't tell you whether obviously you saw the end result if anything was directed at Paul.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they ended up they don't work here.
They gone.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it like, oh man, I'm losing to Chad? That means I'm on my way out. Like,
yeah.
Get rid of me. That was his way of letting me know you're done.
I became Oscar. You
They should have named you
way out.
Future Everston.
What'd you say, Aaron?
So they should have named him Future Endeavors Chad Austin.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, anybody that saw their name on the lineup next to me was just like, "Oh fuck, I'm next." I mean, have we got to Rock and Rebel yet?
We show footage here after this of the match involving the Sheik at the night the line was crossed. The original Sheik. We're not talking about the Iron Sheik. And then we see one of those classic things that you never forget. You never forget it. It's etched in your mind as a wrestling fan. Steve Austin folding up JT
Steve
Smith. I'm sorry, Mike Awesome. I have a note here about Steve.
When was the last time Steve Austin folded up JT Smith?
When was the first time Steve Austin folded up JT Smith?
What the fuck?
Mike Awesome folds up JT Smith. Jesus,
that's the new Rotary Hawk.
Could you imagine a promos for that matchup or JT Smith goes, Mike Awesome, Mike, I'll tell you, I'll take over Mike Awesome, that promo right there just speaks for itself.
Well, Mike Awesome pretty much destroys JT Smith in that clip there. And then we have a match with Pat Tanaka.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that the break your back spot?
Yes.
Well, why would you glance over that?
Because I said Steve Austin.
He fucked it up and he wanted us to forget about it. He didn't think anybody noticed. But he said Steve Austin did the dive out onto JT Smith that broke him in half.
All right, Professor Aaron, tell us about JT Smith and Mike Awesome.
It was only so much. Good God, it was only so much of a good spot that it made the opening of the goddamn fucking show every single week. And I mean, did we already not cover this, or are we talking about this for the first time?
We hinted at it last time we did a show review because we talked about the fact that you thought this segment or this spot was on this show. And then we said we would get to it when we got to it after that. So I'm sure the locker room was buzzing about that one.
Dude, we died. Like, we had a little fucking 13-inch monitor in the locker room. You know, that had like a the feed for it.
Right.
And when we all saw it, and people like me, and I guess people like Mikey kind of too, like us people were just, we had chairs. We just sat around and watched the monitor.
And I hear an ice cream truck.
What's that?
You guys don't hear that?
I mean, I have an ice cream truck coming down the block. I can't hear it.
That's what I've said 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, ice cream man delivers.
You know what I mean? It's called marketing. Yeah, I got my hands on other things.
This is so fucking right.
Considering you won't let me do any advertising on the show, I figure I'll just let him do it.
Thought Tommy Cairo hopped on again.
Where the fuck were we?
We were talking about the backstage reaction to the JT Smith Mike Awesome segment.
Oh yeah. When all the guys were in the back, and they saw Mike Awesome hit him, and then he almost like bent over backwards over like the guardrail. Like there was probably 7 of us, 8 of us, maybe 9 of us that were watching the monitors. But as soon as it happened, the whole entire locker room ran over. Like they'd be like, "What the fuck?" Because everybody thought he was dead.
Yeah, I mean, and I can totally understand that because.
Well, hang on a sec. I'm getting ready to get a fucking a strawberry shortcake. if you just put that on pause for a second.
The ice cream music is like the Pulp Fiction theme of our show.
Oh, good.
He's gonna run the entire time while we all talk about our shit.
This is incredible. and apparently somebody right next to me is getting the fucking ice cream. They're getting the Dippin' Dots.
Are they getting all of it? It's been there for like 10 minutes.
Chad's ice cream man is a great businessman. Great businessman. He hits the neighborhood and he's able to be there for like 20 minutes because people are just
but I see some
clamoring.
photos of him that weren't so revealing. It just so happens that I realized he was a neighbor of mine. And I looked on Facebook and I looked him up, and not the greatest guy in the world.
He's on that list? Oh no.
Yeah, he's on A list.
All right. So
Dude, we gotta do an hour.
Man's gonna get us to an hour.
we gotta do an hour, man.
All right. So moving along, we talked. I love that the ice cream man is done now that we're done talking about this super serious spot in the history of ECW. But like Chad was alluding to, it sounds like the locker room definitely took notice of this, and like you said, it really does look like you would think that JT Smith was paralyzed after that spot.
He should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the whole entire locker room to run over to this 13-inch monitor. Sorry, I'm still laughing about the ice cream, man. But for the whole locker room to run over to that 13-inch monitor, and everybody was legitimately worried. You know, That's like camaraderie, like what you want in a locker room, right? You want guys to care about other guys, and even though some of the guys didn't see the spot happen, it was like, I guess, it just kind of it just trickled, and then it was like, holy fuck, is JT all right? And I remember I popped up out of my seat. I was sitting front row. I was sitting next to Hack Myers, and I think Shane Douglas was sitting on my other side watching it. And I went, oh, like, oh my God. Because, I'm a young guy. I take them bumps.
Did he sustain any actual injury from that?
No.
Jesus Christ.
it didn't bother him at all. Like, he literally walked back to the locker room, and everybody was back there, and we had a medical team back there. I don't know their names. I got it. I'm sorry. I met them a bunch of times, but the one girl was English, and I don't know the other guy, but they were the medical guys. And when he came back, everybody grabbed him and like rushed him over to the medical, and they were like, he's fucking fine. And we're like, there's no way he's fine. His body made an L, like over top of the fucking guardrail thing. Like, your vertebrae don't bend that way.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, he actually was kind of like, what's the big deal about? And then when you see the spot, you got to go like, holy shit, dude. Right?
Up next after that, we have Pat Tanaka and Keith Shera in pretty much a squash match. But Shera, I put on here, Shera was acting like a heel, and he got much more offense than I expected in the match, actually.
No, he got more offensive.
But overall, just a squash for that one. Pat Tanaka.
Pat Tanaka needs to go home. He just needs to go home and teach and help the Duke of Karaoke teach white kids how to boogie board in Hawaii and just go away.
Good God.
All right, then we get
all I got was I didn't go into depth like Aaron did. But all I wrote was we got more Pat Tanaka.
More Pat Tanaka.
I mean, isn't that what the world's clamoring for?
What does ECW need, Polly? More Pat Tanaka. We get some more footage of the main event from the night the line was crossed. And then Joey Styles is in the Eagle's Nest talking, and there's Maddie in the house behind him on the TV screen. And all I wrote was Maddie in the house. I don't even know. Aaron?
It's terrible. And then he goes to interview a bunch of different people about the match, the night the line was crossed. And it's just, yeah.
Is that when he was? Is that when he was asking people who he thought was going to win the match?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which had already happened.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, didn't we already see that?
However, a few things to note here. We still are not rid of Hunter Q. Robbins III.
Yeah, I know, what the fuck? How old is this motherfucker? He's like fucking crabs. It takes a couple of fucking treatments for this motherfucker to go away.
Yeah, there's no ointment that will get rid of Hunter Q. Robbins III because he is still around, and he's talking tonight about he has a surprise, which we're going to see that, or his new whatever acquisition. Public Enemy talk about the triple threat match. I did think this whole deal with Public Enemy about taking people's wallets was funny.
Hang on. Do you really think that anybody put any stock into a stable that Hunter Q. Robbins was assembling? Like
nobody.
You think he was the Skantar Akbar of ECW or the J.J. Dillon? You know? Do you think he was? I mean, I can't even think of any, like, the highest level managers. The highest level, Jim Cornette. Do you think Jim Cornette was going to manage one of the Super Destroyers? You know what I mean? Like, Hunter Q. Robbins' stable was awful.
I gotta now we gotta come up with a name for his stable that's based on Devastation Incorporated. Since you mentioned Akbar, we're gonna have to come up with something.
Dumbest stable. Jesus.
But
something incarcerated is what it should have been. Or incinerated. Yeah,
Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, there's just Aaron. I mean, go ahead.
Well, you're talking about Public Enemy stealing wallets.
Yeah.
In the promo, it's all over the place. They say Sabu's a Mexican. Like they think Sabu's Mexican, and they call Terry Funk Bubble Butt. They go, oh, Sabu, that Mexican, and what's his name? Bubble Butt? I mean, Terry Funk. It's like, what?
Dude.
Good God.
I rewound it. So I was like, did they just call Terry Funk Bubble Butt?
Dude, these shows can't be that bad. They're that good. I watch him and I cringe.
And then Pat Tanaka said that he hasn't seen a standing ovation like that ever. And it's like, dude, you only see standing ovations. Like you're not in. You only see them from the locker room, buddy.
I put down Pat Tanaka here. Looked like someone's aunt.
When's the last time you think Pat Tanaka seen a standing ovation? And where would it have been at? Where? Nothing?
No, I got nothing.
I mean, you guys can't like Google fast enough to find out when the last time Pat Tanaka got a standing ovation.
Google's like, no information found.
Yeah, because it rhymes with nothing. It rhymes with ever. It's never happened.
Never, ever happened.
I mean, literally, I can run down Pat Tanaka's whole entire career.
and no standing ovation. Not a
AWA.
showboat. Yeah, and at the showboat. Yeah.
It's probably got him after he's left the locker room. Everybody's just like, "Yay!"
Oh, the crowd gave him a standing ovation when he left.
I'm saying, like, the boys are probably like, "Yay, Pat left."
Oh, so that's the biggest ovation that he got was when he left the locker. All right. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know who that kid is. I heard he's Duke Karaoke's son.
I think he was known as kind of a I thought he was. I heard a rumor that he was kind of like a locker room thief, kind of thing. It never happened to me, but I heard it was like, oh yeah, you might want to watch your shit.
Don't leave your bags out around Pat.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I never saw anything, or nothing happened around me that would let me to believe that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was the case. But now I don't have an ice cream truck now driving down the street. Now I have the jets flying by. Jesus Christ.
The next thing is a Hunter Q. Robbins promo. And he is talking about his hiatus being over. Oh, we're so glad. And he's going to be managing Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And he says that is just Ducky.
Yes. Isn't that Ducky?
Yes.
Ducky?
Ducky.
What he says.
All right, well.
He's the most sucky. He's the most he's the most indie manager I've ever had to say.
Well, he is we've already said it. He's the worst indie manager
ever.
I mean,
I'd rather see the staple indie manager that comes out on most indie shows around here with like the fedora on and the boa, and he comes out to whatever 80s rock song. I'd rather watch that clown.
What, the guy that pretends like he has a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
And he books like the whatever guy that lives 40 miles away in Ohio.
Right.
Yeah. and this is the guy that lives in Cleveland. He's the next big thing. And he brings him out.
Yes, I'd rather see that.
His name's Donnie Dollars, and he comes out to Everybody Wants You. He's just a piece of trash.
Aaron, you were on to something right there. It's all you got to say. You can figure this out. If there's any shows in your area, do you guys remember a guy named Z-Bar?
Z-Bar. I don't think so. That doesn't ring a bell.
Oh my God, he's the best because he's the biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever fucking met. But I love him, and he's been dead about 6 years now. But this guy is an asshole, and he was a manager back in the day on the Carluzzo's thing, and I'm pretty sure it was under Z-Bar was his gimmick name. Dude, he was unbelievable. I couldn't get along with him and fucking in the locker room because he was so much of a fucking dick.
I don't. Yeah, that does that. Was he just on the East Coast? Like, did he? Because I don't remember that name.
Well,
did he have like a red, white, and blue outfit?
Dude, he looked like shit. He had like a big fucking head of fucking long curly fucking hair, and he wore like outlandish kind of.
Did he manage Johnny Gunn?
That's what I was getting at. We watched
Johnny Gunn.
No, we watched the NWA tournament that Carluzzo put on in like a warehouse, and there's this outlandish shitty manager that's with Johnny Gunn, and they don't say who he is. And now that you brought that up, I was like, that might be who he's talking about. That might be Z-Bar.
That might be Z-Bar. Every time I talk to that motherfucker, the conversation ended with me saying, I don't fucking like you. and then I would hug him still. and I would go to my room because, it was
I just picture I picture your face on that hug. Like, remember when Austin hugged McMahon? Like that face that he got. I picture your face like when Austin hugged McMahon when you're hugging this guy that you don't like.
Yeah, I mean, but it was like it's a respect thing.
Mm.
You're working your gimmick, but you don't have to work your gimmick with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you think you do. I don't know who told you had to, or somebody said make sure you work your gimmick, around Chad.
All around Chad all the time.
Yeah, because Chad's got pull with the office only because I was signing talent, from Smoky Mountain and in ECW to go to WWE. So maybe he was kind of hoping that was going to happen.
Next on the show, it's Dreamer versus Snuka. The closing moments from their match.
Well, you skipped over the terrible back and forth promo between Tommy Dreamer and Jimmy Snuka, conducted by Jay Sully. That was just trash. That was a bad, horrible promo. Snuka made less sense than usual, and Tommy Dreamer was a deer in fucking head.
Less sense than usual. Like, how long ago was that fucking thing taped? Jesus.
And Tommy was like a deer in headlights, and it's just off the rails. And obviously, Sully doesn't know how to fucking save it. It's not like he's Mean Gene or anything. It's just, it's bad. It's bad.
So Aaron, wasn't that interview with Snuka? That was one of them ones that were backstage that had the tape on the door that says dressing room.
No, this was like back in the locker room, like the locker room. There's just like a brick wall or whatever behind him. If I remember right.
Yeah, but don't you still think that was taped fucking forever ago?
Forever ago.
Doesn't all them fucking interviews look like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Snuka takes exception because he thinks Tommy's being disrespectful or whatever, and Tommy's just like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to wrestling you, Jimmy. I'm just looking forward to wrestling you." Should have asked Chad if you were looking forward to wrestling Jimmy Snuka in the ECW. He told you, no, Tommy, no.
I was like, Tommy, dude, seriously. What you really want to do is you want to start with Hot Body or Stetson.
Work your way up.
Yeah. You go with Snuka, it's not gonna be good, and it's not good for your future. So go with Hot Body or Stetson.
Well, in the match, of course, this is the match where Tommy Dreamer kicks out of how many Superfly splashes? 3 of them?
Well, he kicks out of one of them. 2 of them. Does he kick out of 2 of them?
Yes, yeah. Actually, he kicks out of the first one, and then the second splash, Snuka doesn't actually cover him for a pin. And then there's a third splash.
I thought this was incredible. I mean, finish talking about it, but
I was going to say that you've got Dreamer's bleeding from the mouth, and then there is a 4th splash on Tommy Dreamer, and I mean we were just giving the business to Snuka a little bit for his oddball promo or whatever, but for a wrestling segment to get a baby face over like Tommy Dreamer, this is a big deal, And I don't know for a fact, it's pro wrestling, so it is what it is. I don't know for a fact that this is the first time anybody ever kicked out of the Superfly Splash, but I know it's the first time I know anybody ever kicked out of the Superfly Splash.
Tommy Dreamer touts it. He screams to the top of the mountains that he's the only person that ever kicked out of it.
I'm sure he does.
and he's also a historian. And, I'm not personal friends with Tommy. But yeah, he says that he's the only person that ever did it, so it had to have been a big deal. And I thought it was incredible because I thought Jimmy Snuka never looked so like involved in an angle before,
Mm-hmm. Probably not. At least not since Piper.
Yeah,
not
he
since
did.
Piper.
Yeah, 30 years ago. But
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
but he never looked like all right. Now he gave a fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
The guy kicks out of the fucking Superfly Splash. How fucking dare him? You know.
Yes.
I'm gonna fucking do it again. Boom. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, I mean, I remember that, and I was like, dude, that was something special. If you were in that arena,
Mm-hmm. Then
you were involved in the match.
Yes, and I was going to say Todd Gordon comes out and Snuka axe handles him, and the fans pop, and then
it's
Chad Austin.
It's a very awkward.
It is
very awkward.
Gordon kind of.
What did I do?
Chad Austin and Sal Balomo come out to help.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
And
what a
Hack
team.
Myers.
And Hack Myers.
Hack Myers is out there.
What?
it's like a fever dream, isn't it?
Yeah, explain to me because I don't have any notes after this. What
you guys
happened?
You, okay, you, Big Sal, Big Sal Balomo, you, Sal Balomo, Hack Myers, Tommy Cairo, all
the
come
Four
out.
Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen. All come out and hold off Jimmy Snuka and Hunter Q. Robbins.
Jesus Christ. Did they say our names? Or they just say like security?
No, they didn't say your names. They said wrestlers from the back or what have you.
Security. Oh my God. Dude, you did say the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
Good God.
Austin, Balomo, Myers, and Cairo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big Sal would be like Arn. He's the enforcer of the group.
Oh, we're going there now?
He's the enforcer.
He's the enforcer.
I guess I'm the Tully?
Yeah, you're Tully.
I'm kind of like the underneath workhorse.
Yeah, you're Tully. We'll say Tommy Cairo's Flair. He's got experience. He's been around. And then Hack can be, I don't know.
So
which other one?
Mongo.
We're flairless Four Horsemen. We have a Four Horsemen, but we don't have a flare. Is that what you're saying? We have the Mongo.
Tommy Cairo's Ric Flair.
I'm gonna have a great time. Aaron did.
Who accused him of being Ric Flair?
How good that show was last week. Tommy Cairo does all his best work in bed.
You're fucking kidding me. I'm gonna fuck him up.
I'm gonna have a great time picking the name for this episode. All right, we get a Mike Awesome video showing highlights of Mike Awesome and how awesome he is, and then we roll into the press conference. Terry Funk, and I do have down here before Shane Douglas comes in. My notes are that Terry is great here, and he puts over ECW fucking strong in his promo, talking about being the champion.
Is that one of them ones that are like backstage?
Yes. Yeah.
Like he's crying. He's so emotional about ECW and talks about WCW not being worth a damn, and like ECW is the best in the world. It's really good. It's actually probably the best.
Who the fuck gives a shit, Terry? I mean, you retired in 1983, for the first time. And then you retired in 87. Oh, yeah, then I forgot you retired in 89. And what about that time in 91 that you retired? Oh no! That wasn't as big as the one in '93. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like Terry's trying to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Terry's. I think the world of Terry. He's probably number 2 or 3 on my list of top of my people. But yeah, it's just that I don't take his endorsement as great as it would have been 30 years ago.
Right.
If he was still fucking working, you know. But I mean, I don't even say 30 years ago, 40 years ago. If like he was working in a regular promotion, you know.
I think when he retired in '97 and then he came back and everybody's like, "You retired in '97." He's like, "Oh, I retired from wrestling in Texas."
Yeah. so the only state he's got to wrestle in is fucking like Wyoming. He's got to work for Don Owens in Portland. He's got a date. He's got a date up there.
After Terry's promo, Shane Douglas and Sherry come in with Todd Gordon. Of course, Shane demands to be champion. Terry pretends he's gonna, he's gonna give him.
Shane Douglas says that he kicked Terry Funk's leg into obligatory.
Yeah, did he say obligatory or did he say?
He meant oblivion, I assume, and he said obligatory.
He said obligatory.
Okay,
and he just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going."
All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that caught that.
He messed that one up,
and I was like, "What did he just say?"
And then Terry Funk says he'll give Shane the belt after Funk runs him down. And of course, Shane calls him an old piece of shit. Terry Funk slaps him, and the fight begins. And I know you've talked about this before, Chad, about you were in the room for this, right?
At the hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that breaks up this fight.
Well, I was one of the ones that broke up the fight, but I was one of the ones that you didn't see break up the fight. I don't know how that happened because I was well positioned in to be the spot to be somebody that was going to be a first responder to the scene. But yeah, dude, this was like 2:00 in the morning. You know, 2:00 in the morning. We had gotten back to our rooms, checked in, doing whatever, and then Paul's like, "We gotta do this, this, and this," and then and Terry just did all that shit on his own. I can tell you this: I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Nobody told Terry what to fucking do.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Terry wasn't produced.
No, nobody told Terry what to do. He called that shit on his own, and he did that shit in the fucking lobby of the Ramada Inn, like in Philadelphia, and he did all that fucking damage, caused all that fucking problems, and what the fuck's he gonna do? What are you gonna do with Terry Funk? What are you gonna seek out a small claims court? take Terry Funk to small claims court
over your shitty bench. Yeah,
it would take 30 minutes for him to even finish a sentence. Let me tell you something. Like the show would never fucking air. Yeah, so Terry did what Terry does, and that's why I'm sure Paul afforded Terry to be the guy that could do whatever he wants to do. Because that was great. I mean, did you not think it was great?
That was a fantastic segment. Both guys were really strong here on the stick with their intensity, telling a story. And you can tell, I have to say this about Douglas, because outside of ECW, in anything he ever did, I was never a big fan of Shane Douglas. But in this period from probably 94 until 96, or when he leaves for the WWF to be Dean Douglas, Shane Douglas wanted this to work. I think he wanted to stick it in the face of anybody that had ever looked down on him or not thought he was good enough. And he puts 100% into everything he does at this time in ECW. That's my opinion. Like you can tell it. You can tell he's just like, I would just want to fucking make this work to show these fuckers how good I am.
Agreed, Aaron.
I totally agree. I mean, I there's things he did out of the ECW that I enjoyed, but like I liked his team with Steamboat, and I thought they had like great matches with the Hollywood Blondes and shit like that. But this was Shane, like you said, all these guys, all these promoters or whatever, and sometimes I think he was kind of, I don't want to say like in his own head, but with the whole everybody's against me thing, but in his mind, everybody was, and this was his way of saying, I'll show you guys what you had, but didn't know you had.
Yeah, I thought Shane was completely at peace with himself, because I thought he came off of after his run in Continental.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? 88, 89?
88, I think.
Around there. Mm-hmm. Like I think that whole entire relationship with Paul and Eddie in that time period, that really molded Shane into like how to figure out how to work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of like made him stop and think about shit instead of, you know, forget about what I learned at Dominic DeNucci's school. that fucking sunset flip. I you know, I'll use that. I'll use that at a different time. But we got to figure out some more stuff. But I think Heyman and I think Gilbert really smartened Shane up, and I think it did wonders for him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, overall, guys, did anybody give this show a grade, a number, anything to that effect, a rating for this week's ECW show?
I think it was a C.
All right, my turn?
Sure.
I gave it
a D. Chad's got a D on there. It looks like a D.
No, it's a I love you. From
yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna waste the ink to write down that. Fuck no, I don't have any time for this.
I think the overall, like what we saw as, what do I want to say? The presentation of the night, the line was crossed in this show, did a good job. You know, you had your Pat Tanaka match or whatever, but I mean, it's definitely
Pat Tanaka.
Pat Tanaka.
Pat Tanaka. Is he on Raw tonight? What the fuck? Pat Tanaka. Is he teaming up with AJ and Almost?
Almost. Well, you had your Tanaka match. You had your Chad Austin match.
Patch Tanaka.
But overall, I didn't think this.
He's doing like a Robin Williams gimmick from that movie where he's just like a fun-loving doctor.
Patch Adams, yeah.
He's like a fun-loving doctor, going to all the Make-A-Wish kids.
Patch Williams.
He's going to the Variety Club kids.
Oh no.
But overall, I actually didn't mind this show. I thought it was all right.
Well, it's gonna start a trend to where you're gonna start seeing me giving it a little more of a fuck this, you suck, awful kind of trend.
Which is an improvement. Then I don't even want to grade this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of starting that, because that Mike Awesome, JT Smith thing. I'm telling you, that was a big deal in the locker room and in Philadelphia. Like that was a big deal for that, and I can't explain like why. Oh, is it because JT Smith didn't break it in half? then it was a big deal, but it was a big deal, and then all that shit became bigger and bigger and bigger because they're like, you're not going to believe what these motherfuckers are going to do. They're gonna, you know, we're getting into a whole different time now, where they're at least gonna get fucking Fs.
I was gonna say it's only up from here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, all I gotta say is I'm getting ready to fucking tomorrow. I'm gonna watch Matt Cardona and fucking Nick fucking Gage, and I can't wait for this. I've never ordered a fucking Outlaw Mud Show fucking pay-per-view in my life, but I'm ordering whatever that is with Nick fucking Gage and Matt Cardona tomorrow.
I haven't watched. I got kind of out of watching current wrestling, and then when I was like, oh, the crowds, when they're back, I'll start watching it again because that Thunderdome thing gave me headaches and whatnot.
Oh,
and then watching like fake fans in the crowd, it's like I know it's fake. It's like, I mean, wrestling is, but you know what I mean. Like the crowd reaction of people that actually had people in the crowd was people being paid to react. But when I watched AEW, I was like, oh man. They rolled that troll out, that fucking Nick Gage, really? Nick Gage is going to fight Chris Jericho. Now Chris Jericho is going to be that pain maker or whatever, pain killer or whatever the fuck his Japanese gimmick was. It's like, I don't have any interest in seeing that at all.
We are really going to have problems being friends here. I mean, I get it. You don't like Kiss. I get it. I mean, you're not a fan, but now you're just saying Nick Gage. I mean, are you doing this on purpose, Aaron?
No, I'm just saying, like, really, that guy. Whatever. I mean,
Gage.
feel like I'm Z-Bar now. He's just like, hey, nice working with you, brother. I appreciate it.
You are Z-Bar. You're the Jersey All-Pro fucking Z-Bar. 250 fans at the fucking Boys and Girls Club. Z-Bar. Yeah. How can you say that? Wow.
That's how I feel.
I already told Jess, I said, I don't even know how I'm friends with these guys. Aaron don't like fucking Kiss. He don't like Nick fucking Gage. You know? What am I doing associating myself with these fucking clowns? I mean, you know, how am I going to better myself? if you don't like Nick fucking Gage.
All right. now that Aaron and Chad have had their spat.
He looks like somebody put like Shawn Michaels now in a microwave too long. Like that's what he looks like to me. Like if you look at him, if you look at him, he's got like the facial features of Shawn Michaels now. Like, but just fucked up. Like he's even more fucked up looking than Shawn Michaels is. It's like it's like somebody put Shawn Michaels in the microwave too long.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right. I would say it looks like that somebody shoved a bunch of hockey pucks in his mouth.
They probably did it on one of his shows. It's probably something they do. They probably did on one of his shows.
Yeah, that's about as far as I'll go. Because remember that fucking piss bucket challenge thing, that ice thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was over at Ruckus's house with Nick, and he was one of the guys that I challenged, that I recommended for it. Because I've hung around Nick so many times, but now I'm totally scared of him. Fuck that. All right, fuck that shit. You know, if I'm going over Claude's house, Ruckus's house, you know, I mean, like, is Nick going to be there? Hey, you better say no, because I ain't going over there.
I'm not going there.
I fucking just got a pizza cutter. And he didn't even fucking buy any pizza.
Or heaven forbid he asked you to drop him off at the bank.
Huh. All right. This is the way we get out of the show.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this week's
coming.
edition of Reliving the Extreme. Aaron, Chad, thank you. Everybody, check out WrestleNet Radio. Follow Chad on Twitter. And we will see you next time around on Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week, everybody.